My name is Robert Sheppard. I'm Professor of Poetry and Poetics at Edge Hill. I teach creative writing. And my research is in the area of poetry and poetics. On the poetry side, I'm what's called a poet-critic. I write it and I write about it. As a poet, I'm sometimes called a linguistically innovative poet, and I've published a number of books. The most recent is A Translated Man, which purports to be the poems of the bilingual Belgian poet René van Valkenbusch, but of course I've made him up and made his poems up. But I've also been collaborating with the artist P. Clarke, and you can see one of our collaborations for our exhibition here at Edge Hill Manifest behind me. As a critic, I write about poetry. My book, The Poetry of Saying, is about the ethics of linguistically innovative poetry, and the more recent book, When Bad Times Made for Good Poetry, is a history of that poetry, where I write about writers such as Bob Cobbing, Roy Fisher, Lee Harwood, Maggie O'Sullivan, Alan Fisher, Ian Sinclair. And at the moment I'm wanting to work on notions to do with form, not as fixed structures, but of ideas of thinking about modes of forming, how things are formed in both the writing and the reading of such poetry. I also edit the Journal of British and Irish Innovative Poetry, and our most recent issue features a retrospective on the work of Bob Cobbing, the concrete and sound poet. But I'm also interested in something else called poetics. I'm interested in the fact that the things writers write about writing have been curiously misread, and I'm interested in the speculative writerly discourse that poets and writers use when they're trying to think through what it is they've done and what it is they're going to do in their own writing, what they're doing when they're talking to themselves, in fact. And I'm interested in this in relation to the development of creative writing and various kinds of practice-led research in the arts.